Literally the other day, I make this video titled "The Golden State Warriors Can't Keep Getting Away with This." And in this video, I just talk about how great things are going for the Warriors and how they just landed this great rookie, Patrick Baldwin Jr. Not even a few days after I finished discussing how great things are going for the Warriors, one of the biggest stories of this year happens. This Wednesday, reports would drop that Draymond Green and Jordan Poole got into a physical altercation, and that the incident was serious enough to where the Warriors felt that they need to consider disciplinary actions towards Draymond. This same Wednesday, Marcus Thompson would report that there was a heated interaction with guard Jordan Poole and forward Draymond Green that escalated. Green forcefully struck Poole and the two needed to be separated swiftly. Green and Poole came chest to chest, with both players pushing and shoving each other prior to Green's escalation of the physical altercation. Chris Haynes would essentially follow this report up by stating that while Draymond Green was apologetic in the aftermath of the altercation with Jordan Poole, there was a buildup stemming from teammates noticing a change in Poole's behavior throughout camp, with the guard on the verge of securing a lucrative extension. Haynes continued by stating that though Draymond Green and Poole have a history, no players for the Golden State Warriors felt that the incident was warranted. Now, Steph would see this report from Chris Haynes, and let's just say that he didn't really like it.
Steve talked about his belief Jordan's been good attitude-wise during camp. I just kind of wanted to get your perspective.
Yeah, whatever that, there's a specific tweet that was put out yesterday about insinuating that JP's attitude or something has changed since he's been in this training camp, or even whatever time window they're talking about. It's absolute BS. Andre addressed it yesterday with his tweet. You kind of leave it at that. JP's been great. There's nothing that warranted the situation yesterday. Make that clear, but it's also something that we feel like will not derail our season and what we're trying to build, and that's with Draymond, as a part of that. So the rest of it is hard when speculation becomes opinion and turns into borderline fact of like what actually happened. So I hate that became kind of part of the narrative, which it's not fair to JP.
There were a few things that Curry said here that stood out to me. One of those things is that Curry completely has Jordan Poole's back, as does Iggy. Now, not only does Steph have Jordan Poole's back, but he really didn't turn on Draymond either, which was interesting to see. Not only does he not turn on Draymond, but he also goes on to say that this shouldn't derail our season or what we're trying to do. And that's with Draymond as a part of that. Steve Kerr would also go on to give his thoughts on this situation.
Answer anything more because Bob already answered what needed to be answered. The only thing I will say is that Jordan has been fantastic throughout camp. There was a report that I was made aware of last night that someone put out there that Jordan had an attitude in camp. Nothing could be further from the truth. He's been fantastic. So disappointing to see misinformation out there, but I wanted to make sure I set the record straight on that. Everything else we will handle internally, and we'll go from there.
As you guys just saw in the clip, Steve Kerr would basically share the same sentiments as Curry, adding that the team planned to handle everything internally, which of course was always going to be the right way to handle something like this. This whole situation is weird to me because maybe I'm tripping, but I kind of feel like the initial response to this situation was somewhat calm, at least when you consider what actually transpired. Sure, there were some questionable reports here and there, but again, nobody on the team really seemed to air out Draymond or Jordan Poole, and this seemed like something that the team would just move past and grow stronger, all that good Netflix original cliche stuff. Apparently, Poole wasn't rattled by this altercation at all, and after practice, according to Jason Dumas, he was in good spirits, laughing and even getting up some shots. Which, might I add, is just an awesome response from Jordan Poole. Now again, when I read all of these initial reports, I didn't really think that what happened was the biggest deal. Obviously, fights and things of that nature can be very serious situations, but let's not act like every incident or altercation is created equally. especially when it comes to the NBA. How many times have we seen guys in the NBA get huddled up or act like they're about to fight, and either nothing happens or the whole situation ends up being really weak? When I heard that Draymond punched Poole, I thought maybe he grazed him in some way or didn't fully connect. There was really nothing that could have prepared me for the video, which in my opinion kind of changed everything. My first question is, how in the world does a video like this get out? I get that somebody probably sold it to TMZ for some absurd bag, but at the end of the day, is that really worth it? You'll probably never work in the league again. I mean, they're going to find out who sold it, they always do. And on top of that, are the lawsuits and legal ramifications really what you want? There's a 1000% chance that whoever sold this video is about to get hit with some of the meanest and greatest lawyers that the game has ever seen. I just think that the whole process is going to get ugly. Apparently the Golden State Warriors are already looking into all of this stuff. Personally, I don't think I could deal with that type of stress. The video is really interesting. It creates a very clear picture for those of us like myself who may have not completely understood the severity of the situation. We see Draymond approach Poole, getting in his face. Poole pushes Draymond, and then Draymond delivers one of the fiercest punches that I honestly think I've ever seen when it comes to the sports world. I know nobody needs to hear this, but Draymond is a huge guy. This guy is around 6'7", 230 pounds, and he has a 7'1" wingspan. If he hits you with the intent to hurt you, then it's going to hurt. Which brings me to another point. Draymond had some bad intentions with this punch. In the words of Isaiah Thomas, you're not responding with a punch if that's somebody that you really rock with, especially after a push. Now, also, like IT said, we weren't at the practice, so we don't know what was said. We don't know everything that led up to the situation, but I mean, at this point, I'm not sure that that matters. So far, at least from everything that I've seen, everybody's been saying that this punch was unwarranted. When I first saw the punch in the video, the first thing that popped into my head aside from the pure shock value was, man, I hope that JP is okay. This was not a fight. This was not a scuffle. This was Draymond Green baiting an escalation for a situation that just seemingly didn't have a reason to go there. Like IT, I feel like Shannon Sharp also had a good reaction to the Draymond Green and Jordan Poole stuff.
Maybe he's been shown, but I don't care what he's done. Because at the end of the day, Skip, that's a man. Draymond wrong for this. There's nothing Jordan Poole could have said, could have done. I don't know what I mean, I guess he could have said something about Draymond's wife or something about his kids. But in a situation like this, it seems to me, Draymond had the sole purpose, I'm going to send this young boy a message. Mm-hmm. And Poole, yep, lesson learned. Never let anybody enter your airspace.
Guys, in the comments below, I want to know where you think that Jordan Poole goes from here, and how do you even respond to that? In my opinion, there's really no winning in a situation like this once something like that happens. But perhaps this isn't a situation to win. Obviously, you can be the bigger man and let it be what it is. I mean, at that point, there's really not too much that you can do. Now, for what it's worth, Draymond Green did apologize or was apologetic, but at the end of the day, if I'm Jordan Poole, that probably isn't going to do too much for me. Even if I accept it, even if I accept that apology, you're always going to be the guy that struck me. You're always going to be the guy that got everybody memeing me. Now, this isn't my way of saying that we could never be cool again or we will never get over the situation, but actions speak louder than words, and if you do that to me, you just told me a whole lot. I'll forgive because that's just the type of person I am. I think that I'm very forgiving, but while I'll forgive, I'll never forget. Let's just put things that way. Now, when it comes to Draymond, he also just recently gave his take on this whole situation, and it was very interesting.
I was wrong for my actions that took place on Wednesday, and for that, I have apologized to my team. I have apologized to Jordan, and I wanted to take that a step further. With the event yesterday, with the video leaking, there is a a huge embarrassment that comes with that. Not only for myself as I was the one that committed the action, the embarrassment that comes for me is what it is, and that's something that I have to deal with. But the embarrassment that Jordan has to deal with, and that this team has to deal with, that this organization has to deal with, but also Jordan's family. You know, his family saw that video. His mother, his father saw that video, and quite frankly, if my mother saw that video, I know how my mother would feel. I know what her I know what her reaction would be, and I know what her next step would be. And so for that, I apologize to his mother and his father, and you know, his family, his friends that care for him, because that is a sense of, or a level of embarrassment that they have to deal with too. I apologize to this organization. You know, we just won a championship. In 9 days, 10 days, there will be a ring ceremony. My family will be here. His family will be here. I'm sure they'll be here. And quite frankly, that's an elephant in the room. That's something that, you know, it's weird, you know, and on a night where it should be celebration and love, and it still will be. But there is like this dark cloud in the room, and I caused that, you know. So I apologize to his family and just what they've had to deal with over the course of the last 24 to 48 hours. And I will do what I have to do to make that right.
Guys, in the comments below, let me know what you think of Draymond Green's response to this whole situation. I know at this point it probably feels like the world is against him, and rightfully so, but I do honestly think that if he could take this moment back, that he would. When it comes to Draymond's punishment, Warriors GM Bob Myers doesn't anticipate that he will have to miss any time. He also reiterated that the team would like to deal with this internally. To quote Myers, "It's unfortunate. I'm not going to deny it. It'll take some time to move through, but we'll move through it and move forward. And I'm confident that we will. This isn't our first thing that's happened, first sense of adversity. We've been through some of this before. Don't like going through it, but it's part of the NBA and it's part of sports."
But he is so important to what I believe is our past, our present, and our future. I mean, Skelet, you were around our team. You know what he does. I mean, what he also does is the weight of a leader in Steph. The best player always carries this load. They're the ones that are up at the podium. They're the ones having to answer the question. They're the ones kind of regulating the temperature of the team. Draymond offloads so much of that for Steph. And Steph doesn't ask him to. It's not like they have some agreement. But Draymond is also a guy that can speak on behalf of the team. A lot of teams, their best players is the only one, right? So Draymond has this equal status, at least publicly and privately, behind the scenes. Like, he's the loudest voice internally in our team, and Steph doesn't mind that. He doesn't feel like he's getting his voice taken away. So the best thing about the team over the last 12, 10 years, sure, Curry. He's the best thing. Okay, but then what? How they complement each other is the best thing about the team.
Now, bear in mind that this is definitely not Draymond's first problematic instance with a teammate. Does anybody else remember that whole Kevin Durant mess? Can somebody remind me where Kevin Durant is now? For those that could not tell, I'm completely joking, but jokes aside, I do wonder to what extent this changes the Warriors' future plans.
You guys have been through stuff with Draymond before. You get to the point where is trust in any way compromised already, or are you nearing that, or where are you with that?
No comment.
Yeah, guys, I mean, that's not exactly what you want to hear. Remember that this is a team that has a lot of tough contract decisions coming up, and I can't see Jordan Poole taking this massive discount after seeing Tyler Hero get 4 years, $130 million on his extension. While we're on the topic of extensions, here's a reminder that there were rumors that Draymond would be looking for a max extension from the Golden State Warriors. Dre is comfortably under contract for Golden State this season, but the following year, he has a player option, and he could hit free agency if that's what he decided to do. Here's your reminder that Draymond Green is with Clutch. I'm not saying that he's going to the Lakers or anything like that, but Trae Young is. If you don't believe me, just check out this tweet. Again, that's a joke, guys. Let me know what you think of everything going on. Clicking the video on the screen right now is a great way to support my channel. I'm GetLikeCoop, bringing you guys the scoop until our next upload.